Okay, so let's start with the first song on Anthology. This song is Joe Goes to France, and it actually is the first recording that we ever did as a band. I'm guessing we started as a band in '99. Our first EP came out in 2001. So somewhere in there, I'm going to say this was in 2000. It might have been late 1999. It was recorded in a basement of our manager. His name was Don Schuler, and it was in his basement, a makeshift studio that he had. He had an engineer. Do not remember the engineer's name. We played live as a band. You have Joel Walker on drums. We have Ben White on bass, and then myself, Matthew Schwartz, on guitar and vocals. I can't remember if there. We'll listen. I can't remember if there's background vocals, but there are. Ben would be doing those. I'm pretty sure all of this is live. I don't think that we overdubbed anything to this. The lyrics are pretty much nonsense. I think almost all of my lyrics at that time were about girls and God, and I think that this was somehow about both. About how I'm wanting love, and I want it sanctioned by God because I was very religious at the time. The title, Joe Goes to France, that was penned by Ben. He was really good about coming up with some good, funny names. Like there's a song later on the album called 3 out of 5 Ain't So Bad Baby. That was him too. So yeah, but I don't think the name actually meant anything. It was just kind of a placeholder so we knew which song it was. I also think this is probably the first song, if not one of the first songs that we wrote as a band. Our first rehearsal was in Joel's dad's house in some room. A guest room or something, I don't remember. But yeah, I think that they did a really good job of capturing what we sounded like at the time. It has a really good energy in it. Yeah, I was a big fan of that resurgence of big band and rockabilly that came out. I was really big into Brian Setzer. I really loved this band called the Calicos. My guitar at the time was my very first electric I bought myself was I always like that stop. Live we used to stop here too and do this, tap, 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 but it's not on the recording. But yeah, I had a Epiphone Casino Gold Sparkle hollow body, and I got that because I like that music, and it got stolen a couple years ago and never found another one for sale. But yeah, that's the first song, Joe Goes to France. All right, cut to song number 2, which is also another song that along with Joe Goes to France was featured previously on our first EP, Still on Hold. This one is called What Else Can I Do? It was recorded with Matt Goldman at Glow in the Dark Studios, which is in Little Five Points. It was our first time as a full band recording in a real studio. I remember when recording, Matt Goldman threw me some knowledge, and because I was like, I don't think we can play this live like that, and he said, that's not my problem. My problem is to make you a great album, and it's your problem to figure out how to play live. And I thought that was brilliant and beautiful, and I think he did a wonderful job of making us sound great. Again, 3-piece. This was recorded, I think, in 2000, released in 2001. Actually, this March will be the 25th anniversary from when this EP was released. If you bought the CD for Still on Hold, they had all the demos we did with Don Schuler, which included Joe Goes to France, the first song. What else? I was trying to do like Cake meets what else? What else was I listening to? I'm not sure. The lyrics are most definitely about my girlfriend at the time and our tumultuous relationship. The bridge in this is most definitely going to be Pedro the Lion. When we get to that, Beatles obviously are in this. We're still 3-piece. Yeah, it's Joel on drums, Ben White on bass, and me on guitar and vocals. I think Matt did an amazing job of we sound great on this. But But yeah, this part up here, this is the bridge. I like the two different vocals going on. Yeah, this part was awesome. He did two different drum beats. So he's got one going on now that he put a phaser on, kind of thing. And I always loved that guitar stuff. I was most definitely into Pedro Line for that. And then we have the other drum beat coming there, and it's going over the other drum beat. Super, super cool. And then nothing. We were really big in like MXPX and his side band Arthur. They had lots of breaks, and so we did lots of breaks. I still do some of that today. Less into punk music these days. But yeah, really proud with how this turned out. This song and the other song, the only two songs in Anthology that were not brand new. They were the only two that were previous released. But I think at the time we were sold out of CDs, or at least thought we had. When they originally released Still on Hold, they had Messed Up. I love that. Yeah, we loved that. And we didn't resolve. Live, we would go, at the time, live, we would go into, what song is that? Push It by Push It Real Good. We would do that at the end of it. We'd play that part. Anyway, but yeah, these two songs were the only songs that had been previous released and on Anthology. And I think Still on Hold, we thought they were sold out when the CD first was made. They made blue copies and they made pink copies. And because it was supposed to be blue. Yeah, I'm gonna cut half of this. Anyway, yeah. These were the only two songs that were featured on Anthology that were not new to people, I guess. And I think in hindsight, I probably would lose them and just add the two original. I think there's only two original songs that are on side B. Put them out on this, and maybe not even do side B, or side B only be remixes and live and covers. But yeah, anyway, that is the second song. What else can I do?